In this section, we're going to be looking at your law of cosines, which is just another method that you can use to find angles and sides of triangles that are not right triangles. And your law of sines is always going to work whenever you have a combination of side, angle, side. So this would be an example of side, angle, side. And of course, side, 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 of course, means you're given the 3. So those two combinations will always work with your law of cosines. Now here is the formulas for your law of cosines. And actually these 3 that you have down here come from these 3. So these 3 are the same as these 3. It's just solved for something different. You would want to use one of the versions here at the top if you're trying to find a side. If you're trying to find an angle, then you'd want to use one of these down here at the bottom when you're trying to do the angle. All right, the first example that we're going to look at is this one. And just like with other problems, if you want to sketch you off a triangle and label it, if that helps you, actually law of cosines is pretty easy for you to do without the picture if you wanted to do so. And again, don't worry about drawing it to scale. You know, it doesn't have to be to scale for you to help match everything up. So side A is 120, side B is 66. So say obviously I've not drawn this to scale, and C is 120 degrees. But this it just gives you a good enough picture that you can tell that this is going to be that side, angle, side situation, you know, so which lets you know that you can use your law of cosines. All right, now you're asked to find side C. So what you're going to need to use to find side C will be this formula here where we have little c squared. Of course, we will end up having to take square root in order just to get c by itself, but this will be what the formula that you need to use. Okay, so you're going to have c squared is equal to 120 squared plus 66 squared minus 2 times 120 times 66 times cosine of 120 degrees. Okay, now when you put this in your calculator, here's what you can do. All right, so type in your 120 squared plus 66 squared minus 2 times 120 times 66 cosine 120. Okay, now that's going to be what c squared is equal to. So what you could do is go ahead from right here and take the square root. So you'd have the square root of this. So remember, you can do second enter instead of retyping those digits if you want to do it that way. So the length of that side would be approximately 163.3. Okay, so you can actually do every bit of this in your calculator in one step. Just don't forget, after you put this in, you've got to get the square root of that answer. Okay, all right, next one. All right, so in this case, you can actually tell without even drawing this one off that you've got side, 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 since you've got all 3 lowercase letters. And you're asked to find the largest angle. Now your largest angle in this case would have to be angle A, because side A is your longest side, so the side opposite that would have to be your largest angle. Okay, so sometimes they'll give you ask you to find something like this instead of being just real specific about it. Okay, since you're trying to find an angle, of course we're finding angle A in this case, so this will be the formula that you would need to use this time. So we'll have cosine A equals, and that would be 24 squared plus 31 squared minus 51 squared divided by 2 times 24 times 31. Now, you got to be careful on this one as far as entering this one into your calculator. First of all, you are trying to find an angle, so you have to start off by doing second cosine, but you're also going to have to insert a set of parentheses around your numerator and a set around your denominator. The set that the calculator opens here actually goes around the whole fraction. So I've got to open up another one, which is going to be the set that I'm going to put around my numerator. All right, so let's type in my numerator. Okay, close that. Divided by, now open up another set that's going to go around your denominator. You have 2 times 24 times 31. Just so you don't get so many parentheses, even though I use parentheses here to show my multiplication, I would suggest when you put it in your calculator not to do the parentheses here. I would just, actually hit the multiplication. And then you've got the parentheses that goes around the whole fraction. So that's what you've got to remember to do when you put this one, like I said, in your calculator. Oh, let's see, I hit something wrong. Oh, I left off my plus sign. I see it now. Right here, I forgot to enter in my plus sign. So let's insert that. All right, there we go. So angle A is approximately 135.6 degrees. Okay, so again, be careful with law of cosines when you're finding an angle because of your sets of parentheses.